Did you know in your MSP, onboarding can actually make you a ton of money? And I'm not talking about just selling the onboarding as you bring on somebody new. It goes way deeper than that. And this video is going to completely change the way you think about doing your onboarding. And I promise you by the end of it, you are going to be shocked at the information that you learn. My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs grow, whether it's sales training, marketing, or just like this video, some business operations. And we've been super fortunate to help tons of you guys grow your MSPs. Before I get into today's video, I do want to mention one really quick thing. Down in the video description, or if you're listening to the podcast, MSP Heroes, there are a ton of super helpful links. I would highly recommend going and checking those out. Also, total side note, I just got a universal dust cleaning gel on Amazon. I am an affiliate. There will be a link down below, but I was always a little skeptical on these, and I do use a mechanical keyboard. Gotta say, just because I'm a tech guy, wildly impressed. I will leave a link down to this one down below, but pretty cool because my keyboard, I'm sure just like everybody else, gets pretty dirty. Big fan. This is just one of the ones pull dinky, I guess it is, but I'll leave a link down below. It's like $6 and it's so much better than taking off my keys. So let's talk about onboarding, because I think a lot of people have this idea of you can charge for it, you can bring on a new customer, and I'm just going to deploy agents on it. And I think that there's a lot of misconceptions when it really comes down to onboarding. And in its true essence, right, we have to define what onboarding is. And onboarding is literally bringing on a new client and getting them kind of up to speed and implementing and rolling out necessary systems, providing training, and making sure that there's a smooth transition. Keyword, smooth transition. You are typically, even if it's somebody that's never worked with an MSP before, you're going to be bringing them in. This is almost always the first time that they're going to be interacting with your business, especially when it comes to managed services, right? So you really want to make sure that they have a truly fantastic experience. And this is the time that you get to really make strides in the business. And I'm going to get to how it becomes insanely profitable very shortly here. But we have to talk about how important it truly is, because I think a lot of MSPs, either they're not charging for onboarding, they're not really doing an onboarding. And I don't think enough people realize that that onboarding process is truly the cornerstone of what your client is going to think. It is proven that people that have a fantastic experience, and I've seen this, and I know there's a study floating around, but if the customer or new customer has a fantastic onboarding experience, the longevity of that customer is actually extended tremendously, allowing you to have significantly longer retention when it comes to that customer, increasing the value of that customer over the time that they're with you. So doing a great onboarding is actually really important. Now, if you'd like to steal my onboarding template, I can give you one. I've actually made one for you. It is called, you can go to growth-generators.com/resources. And if you scroll down, I'm going to share my screen here, but if you scroll down, you should see it. It'll say onboarding checklist. You can download the one I have completely for free. Full transparency, it's a little overkill. You can trim it back depending on your MSP, but I wanted to make sure I made it as thorough as possible for you. Now, let's talk about some of the benefits of a solid and well-structured onboarding process. And the first thing is you are going to reduce the time of productivity. You're bringing on this customer. In most cases, when you're bringing on a new customer, regardless of whether they've worked with an MSP or they haven't, right? If they've worked with somebody, they're coming to you. They probably have a ton of problems that they've never mentioned to their current provider. That's where you get to come in and be a superhero. And if they have never worked with a managed service provider, guess what? They don't have any of this stuff anyway. So it's really important for you. They have printer issues. They have problems everywhere that they have never had resolved. The workload actually is kind of a bit of a crazy bell curve. You're going to bring that new customer on, and basically as soon as you bring them on, the workload goes almost vertical because they're saying, hey, we have this problem, this is going on, this is going on. And it's a lot to handle. But as you progressively go through that process and doing a really solid onboarding, it crests and then comes down, obviously more gradual as your team progressively does more and more work. And then it kind of planes out. Now, that customer, if you do a really good onboarding, you're probably not going to have any surprises. You're not going to just have a bunch of stuff, bunch of issues that you're going to have to deal with over time. A solid onboarding reduces that amount of time and it helps minimize errors going forward, right? There are probably problems that you're going to have to deal with. I'm telling you, rip the Band-Aid off and get down to business. It's going to make for a fantastic customer transition. And guess what? When they cut you that check, they hand you, in this case, all of that money, right, for your services, they are going to be watching you like a hawk. Anytime you buy anything for a lot of money, and I'm just going to use cars as an example. You spend a lot of money on a car. You're getting in that car. You're feeling it. You're touching all the components. You're smelling it. If your first several hundred or even several thousand miles aren't fantastic, guess where that car's going? Right back to the lot, right? You're probably going to get rid of it, assuming you're in a financial spot that you can, because that car doesn't meet or exceed your expectations. And in this case, it truly is the exact same when it comes to bringing on, or you bring on a new customer. That customer truly wants to have a fantastic experience, and this can help you skyrocket your client satisfaction. Once again, creating that longer term client, but now they feel like they're really getting their money's worth. They feel like they spent all of this money with you, and all of a sudden, now the problems are getting fixed. All of those headaches that they had are now resolved, and that makes them super, super happy. And over time, with those minimized errors and increased productivity, right, you're going to address all of that. It should be relatively smooth sailing going forward. Now, one of the last things is I want to talk about the finances that come with onboarding. Now, you can 100% charge for an onboarding. It's true. I used to charge thousands of dollars. Now, I've seen everything from a set onboarding fee, whether it's several $100s to several $1,000s. I've seen people take 1 month upfront. Truly, there is no best answer. And anyone that says there is lying. Whatever works for you is totally fine. You can charge 1 month. You can charge 50% of the first month. In my opinion, a little extra value. I'm going to give you a massive little nugget here, but you got to do me a quick favor. Just the like button, subscribe button, leave a comment. Super informative. Harrison, you have more hair than you did yesterday. I don't know. Something like that. You could have a little fun with it. But one of my favorite things when it came to onboarding was, one, I knew that my team was going to absolutely crush it, which is great. But I could use the onboarding as a bargaining chip in a sale. And I could tell people, hey, we charge X amount of money for that onboarding. But if you decide to move forward today as kind of like a special offer, I've already gotten clearance to waive onboarding. Now, I understand that my team is going to have to do a lot of work and we're not going to get paid for that right up front. But the value that we're going to get out of that and the new contract signed is far more important than, hey, I really want to make that extra bit of money. Even if you charge several $100s for that onboarding, using that as a bargaining chip is a huge opportunity to close more business. It truly is important. Now, in that onboarding process, I spoke a little bit about training, right? And this kind of brings me to my third point, that financial impact along with the money. Guess who needs to get trained? Your client. Guess who also needs to get trained? Your team about this new client. Now, if you niche down, it makes it tremendously easier. Your team is probably already familiar with, or you're familiar with that environment and that business, which is great, right? Wash, rinse, and repeat. But your client, if they're coming to a new MSP or they've never had an MSP before, guess what they aren't familiar with? How to submit tickets, how to basic troubleshoot, when to submit a ticket, what severity that ticket might actually be, and who their single point of contact actually is if they need something, right? More than just putting in a ticket or calling in a ticket. This training is actually going to save you a tremendous amount of time, and time equals money in the business world. But truly, it is really, really important. And guess what else? What other benefit you're going to get out of this? Not only are you going to have a happier client, but spending that time training the client on what to do, you're going to have happier employees, less turnover, higher profitability. But it truly is important. And guess what else you're going to have by training that client? A more efficient operation. You're going to spend the time with them, hopefully. Maybe it's a YouTube video, but I can't tell you how many MSPs are like, hey, you're onboarded. This is what you're going to do to fill out a ticket. See you later. No, really spend the time with them as they go through that. And then when they come out the other side, now you're going to have significantly more efficient operation because that client knows what the ticket is, how to submit the ticket, who's going to be in charge of that ticket, how to identify their machine number. All of those things are important for you and for your business, which is going to ultimately drive cost down and profit up, which is truly what we're looking for when it comes to your actual onboarding process. So let's talk a little bit about your onboarding process because there are really important parts. The first part of it is pre-onboarding, and this is going to be as soon as they sign up to be a new client of yours. Setting up the account in your RMM, your PSA, getting the groundwork done before you go in there and actually do the work, right? Then you have the kind of meat and potatoes that the actual onboarding that you're going to go through. That onboarding is going to involve deploying agents and training itself. And then the last part of it, and I will always, always, always stress this, get some feedback. You're deploying tens, if not hundreds of man hours. Why not get feedback on how to make it better, what their experience is like, and guess what? Shortly after you finish that onboarding, you can ask for a review to get great feedback. These are really, really important because you want to consistently get better. That's why we're in business. We all want to make more money, and we do that by getting better. And your clients are the best place to find information to consistently grow. And then you have your post onboarding. They are done onboarding after you get that feedback of what could go better, and then they become a standard client in your business where they've gone through that onboarding process, everything's set up, dialed in, done, and now the service desk can take over support calls, troubleshooting, and all of that good stuff. But that's the process that you have to go through in order to succeed with onboarding. And when you do a great onboarding, I promise you, magic happens. It is amazing to see. And hey, look, we're all human. We're all looking to get better. Even myself and my team, we're always looking to get better as well. So if you found some value in this video, I hope you hit that like button, that subscribe button, even that notification bell. There are a ton of super helpful links down in the video description or the podcast description. MSP Heroes, available on Apple and Spotify. And other than that, if you want to grab my free onboarding checklist, or better yet, onboarding checklist, I don't know if it's paid or not, but go check it out, growth-generators.com/resources. You'll find it there, and you'll be able to grab it. I highly recommend it. It is free. I just checked by the way while I'm making this video. Go grab it, modify it, adjust it, take what you want out, add what you want in, and truly make an incredible onboarding process. And other than that, I hope you have the best day ever or night, whenever you're watching this. I love the heck out of you guys as always, and I'll see you guys on the next one.